welcome. My name's Trey and I'm with Centrex Software, and this is a somewhat detailed recording presentation of the Centrex Software platform for the business finance industry. A little bit about Centrex Software. We were founded about 10 years ago. We serve several different finance dedicated vertical markets: debt settlement, debt consolidation, student loans, business financing, consumer financing, law firms that focus mainly on finance, and a lot of call centers that focus on finance as well. So because we focus heavily in the finance industry, we've got lots and lots of security built into the software platform. Some of the other industries that we serve outside of business and consumer finance are highly regulated by the CFPB and the FTC. So we have to make sure by law that some of our software is compliant for those industries. So every single thing that you guys are going to see today is 100% built by the ground up by our software development team, our W-2 employees out of our corporate headquarters in Chicago. So we have no bolt-on code, no third-party code, no copy and pasted code. Everything, like I said, again, is built from the ground up by our team. Okay, so we'll go ahead and take you through the software today. Once the demonstration is over, you can go ahead and contact myself, Trey, or my sales associate, Caitlin, and we can answer any questions you guys have, and then we'd love to have you on board. So let's go ahead and get started. First and foremost, the software platform is fully white labeled to you, okay? So it'll be your company logo, it'll be your color schemes, the URLs up in the URL bar will be your domain names, your login pages will be fully white labeled to you with your domain names, your client portal and your client portal login pages will also be fully white labeled to you, and your domain names as well, okay? So it's a true full white label, so it truly looks like your product as a software platform, okay? Let's go ahead and get started on the far left. Every single one of your sales reps is going to get a dashboard so they can track their own productivity in real time throughout the day. So we've got calls logged today, contact rate, qualification rate, conversion rate. As your sales reps start dispositioning the leads that have been assigned to them, this pie chart is going to get all sorts of colorful and essentially tell them what percentage of their overall database is sitting within a certain stage or status. And they can filter this by stage or status in the system as well. And then, of course, I've got recently assigned to me. So just a nice productivity dashboard for your sales reps in real time throughout the day. The guidelines tab, all it really is a content repository for you and your staff. You guys can come in here and put company policy documents, sales scripts, training documents. It doesn't really matter. It's a public library for you and your company. So I can come into the categories tab. I can build out different sorts of categories. And then once I've built out my categories, I can come in to create content, and I can build this content into the software, and I can share this content with different departments or different teams or different users. Okay, so it's really simple. It's just a content repository, a library of information for you and your staff. Okay, the contacts tab. The contacts tab is essentially the CRM aspect of the software. We are much more than just a CRM platform. In the finance industry, we do full loan origination on the front end for CRM. We do all the underwriting and decisioning down the middle. And then on the back end, you've got all sorts of portfolio servicing as far as your ACH drafting portfolio, your credit card charge portfolio, your unlimited email marketing, your ISO broker and syndication management, all built into the software. So we'll go through all that. But in the contacts tab is essentially our CRM. So first and foremost in the contacts tab, let's go ahead and jump into workflow. In workflow, you guys are going to have a fully customized workflow built in the system. Now, because I've been in the industry for many, many years, I've been in the industry about 15 years myself in business and consumer finance, I can give you an out-of-the-box workflow that works nicely both in the industry and in our software, or you guys can come in here and build your own. You guys can drag and drop these statuses up and down. You guys can color code these statuses any which way you want. And then what you can also do is click on a stage or status and edit the title of the stage or status, and even use access restrictions for these stages and statuses so departments aren't seeing each other's stages and statuses in the software. Okay, so fully customized workflow built in the software. What we also have in the software is something called data sources. For you marketing people out there, data sources is going to be crucial because data sources allows you to put a unique identifier on all the different places you're receiving leads from so that you can run reports on whether or not your lead sources are showing you a positive or negative ROI. Okay, so I've got a few data sources built in the software already. You guys can always come in here and build out your own data source any which way you want. Okay, let's go ahead and edit an existing data source I have real quick. So you can see here, I can come in here, I can name my data source. We have two types of data sources built in the software, a web form or an import. If it's an import, you guys can upload a CSV file. And you're going to have to format the CSV file before you upload it. But essentially, if you've got 1,000 records or 1,000,000 records or 200,000 records, it doesn't really matter. You can upload those records into the software. For the web form, let's say someone fills out a form on your website or you're buying leads from a lead provider. The web form allows you to automatically API data into the software via this post URL. Okay, so again, if you guys have a form on your website or you're buying leads from a software provider, you can send this post URL to your IT guy or your IT lady, if you will, or your lead provider. And again, they can API data directly into the software. Okay, what file type is it? It'll always be business loans. How do you want the data coming into the software? Stage and status you can choose. You can also choose your campaign, and I'll get into campaigns here in just a second. We've got some dedupe functionality built in the software. So what do you want the dedupe field to be? I can say email. I want the dedupe action to be flag as dupe, and then I can choose a dedupe status. Okay, so those are your settings on how you want data coming into the software. Then what you guys have is you have an autoresponder. So if someone fills out a form on your website and the data is automatically API'd into the software, you can send that client an automatic email right away. So I can turn this on. I can choose the autoresponder category. I can choose the template within that category, and then I can choose a sender. Okay, now all this is built in the email marketing tab. Okay, so if I jump over to the email marketing tab and I click on create email template, you can see here I can choose a category for my email templates. Let's say autoresponder, for example, and I can build that this template here. What I can also do is build a sender. So I can click on set up senders, and I can choose a sender. So if I come back to the contacts tab and I jump right back into data sources, you can see here I can choose that category, choose that template, and choose that sender so that client gets an automatic email. Okay. Now what we also have here is assignment options. As leads come into the software platform, you can automatically assign leads to sales reps. I can turn assigning on. I can choose the reps I want to go to round robin. If you guys also wish to do so, you can assign leads to service providers or external brokers or external ISOs as well. And then if you want your sales reps or those external ISOs or brokers to receive lead notifications, you can come over here, highlight their name as well, choose a template for email, put in their email addresses, click on send details, and now each one of your sales reps, ISOs, or brokers will receive an email to their inbox, an in-system pop-up notification, and a text message to their cell phone that they have a new lead. Okay, so great notification technology there. At the very bottom here, we've got something called webhooks. Okay, data sources is how we get data into the system. Webhooks is how we get data out of the system into someone else's system. Okay, so right next to data sources here, you've got something called webhooks. I can click on webhooks and I can post data out of the software. You've got two methods here. You've got post and get. Post is posting data out of the software into someone else's software. Get is someone coming into our software, pulling data out of their software into their software. A good example for you guys would be a dialer. Okay, so if I were to come into the data source section here and I want to API all my data from my website directly into the software, and then I want those leads to go directly into a dialer, I can have my dialer option set up here. So now every single time a lead comes into the system, it automatically goes directly into the dialer. Okay, so that's data source technology. You guys can build as many data sources as you want. You can build as many webhooks as you want. Another cool part about webhooks is you guys have webhook triggers. So based on any system event built in our software, you can post data out of the software when something happens. A payment being made, a status being changed, a stage being changed, a note being taken, an e-sign document being done, stuff like that. Okay, so that is workflow, data sources, and webhooks. Let's go ahead and jump into campaigns. Campaigns is great because essentially what it's going to allow you guys to do is track the different types of advertising campaigns you are participating with. So for example, if you guys are doing pay-per-click with Google and you've got different ad groups, you guys can come in here and create different types of ad groups for Google. Your data source is Google, but then your campaigns are those different ad groups. And you can create start date, ending date, the priority, how much you're spending on those campaigns, and you can tie campaigns to data sources. Okay, all right. One of the things we're going to do for you on behalf of Setup is we're going to come into the Docs tab, and we're going to rebuild your contracts and documents so they can be generated as PDFs and sent out for electronic signature. Okay, so here's an on-debt capital application. You can see here that we've overlaid short codes onto your contracts and documents. So when they're generated as PDFs, it pre-populates all the client-specific data onto that document, and then you can send it out for e-sign. Now, on your documents, when you send them to us, you're going to have lots of custom fields. Okay, everyone's a bit different. It's mainly the same in the business finance sector, but everyone has it done a bit differently. Each one of these custom fields we build from scratch in the software. So once you send us your documents, we're going to look at the fields on those documents. We're going to jump into the Contacts tab. We're going to come into the Custom Fields button here, and we're going to build all your custom fields in the software from scratch. Okay, now you guys can always come in here and edit a custom field at any time. So for example, if I look at the industry custom field here, it's a multiple choice answer option. And I can come over to the far right and edit this custom field, and you can see here, here's the multiple choices for industry, and I can always add more options if I wish to do so. Now what you guys can also do is create custom fields from scratch if you need to. So I can come in here and I can ask the credit score question. What is your credit score? And then the answer options for credit score, let's say it's multiple select, number, paragraph, price, whatever you want it to be. And then I can come in here and I can add as many options as I want. Okay, so if I come back to the Contacts tab and I click on Add a Contact into the software, you can see here on the left-hand side, I've got categories of data, and on the right-hand side, I've got those custom fields. So I can click on these categories of data, and you can see categories on the left and the custom fields on the right. You guys can customize at any time these categories here on the left or these custom fields on the right and how they display. So let me go ahead and show you how that works. If I jump into the Contacts tab, I jump right back into Custom Fields. I can click over to my Form Builder, and I can either build a new form from scratch, or I can edit an existing form. If I edit an existing form, you can see here, same concept. Here's my categories of data: campaign information, contact information, business information, loan information, broker information. I can edit these categories by jumping in the form groups, by editing these categories at any time, or adding a new category. Once I've edited my categories, I can jump back into this existing intake form and I can customize this. So I can drag and drop these custom fields up and down. I can say they are required to save, required to submit, or required for co-applicant, and then I can even give this custom field a label. If you don't want first name showing up on the CRM, maybe you want borrower first name, you can create that label, and then that's what will show up on the CRM for your staff. Okay, and then if you guys ever want to add more custom fields into this intake form, over here on the far right, you've got add fields to form. Okay, let's say I want to have first payment amount right in the campaign information. I can highlight first payment amount. I can drop this down to campaign information. I can click on add fields, and now you can see here I've got first payment amount right here in the software. If I want to delete it, I can go ahead and click on the red circle, and now it's gone. And then you guys have other settings over here on the far right as far as who do you want to share this intake form with. Is it a default intake form for your company, maybe a broker or ISO company? Do you want to share this with certain users or teams in the software, so on and so forth? Okay, so hopefully what you guys can already see is our system is highly customizable. As long as you know how to do it, which doesn't take a lot of time to learn how to do, you can customize almost anything on the fly without ever having to call the support team. Okay, so your custom fields, your intake forms, your workflow, your data sources, your webhooks, your campaigns, so on and so forth. Okay? Okay, let's move on. When it comes to data management in Centrex software, we make it much easier than most software platforms. What most software platforms will do when it comes to list management and data management is you got to create a Trey list, and a Jeff list, and a Susan list, and a Jill list, and a Mike list, and a Samantha list, okay? You've got to create 5 or 6 or 7 different lists for every single rep on the floor, and that just becomes super cumbersome and extremely hard to manage. So what we've done is made it a lot easier. So what you're going to be able to do as a representative, all your lists are going to stack right here for you to view at any time. But what you can also do is you can come in here and click on New List. Let's say, for example, I want to create a list that says all warm leads. Okay? All warm leads. And now I want to add the filter to this. I want to be able to see all my leads in the status of warm lead. So I'm going to drop this down. I'm going to come down to status. And I'm going to find warm lead. There it is. And I'm going to click on add filter. And I'm going to share this list with my entire sales team. So I'm going to come over here to share with, and I'm going to click on sales. But I don't want sales reps seeing each other's leads, right? No one likes that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop what contacts down to my contacts. So now every single sales rep will have access to the same list, but they can only see leads on that list assigned to themselves. So guys, this makes data and list management 1,000 times easier, because instead of creating 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever, 10 different lists for every single rep, now you can create 6 or 7 lists for the entire sales department. Every single person has access to the same exact list for ease of management, but again, they can only see leads on that list assigned to themselves. Okay, makes data management 1,000 times easier. What you guys can also do now is the bottom right, you can drag and drop custom fields onto the list view perspective, so your data columns are customizable. So when you're looking at a list, you can see all your first names, all your last names, all your email addresses, and you can fully customize what data you want to see on that particular list. So if I were to come up here and click on Save List, you can see here, here's my customized data columns: business name assigned to full name, home, phone. I've got 274 leads on this list, and I can toggle between my different lists throughout the day. Now, if I were to change the status of this first lead right here, over here on the far right, I can click on Change Status. It's going to fall off this list and fall onto a different list. So the list building strategy, as long as you've built it correctly, is fully dynamic. It's alive. Its heart is beating every single day. Okay, so what you guys can also do is put time-sensitive filters on a list. So I can come to New List, and I can drop down my filter here, and I can say time in status, for example. So let's say equal to the past 3 days. Okay, so for example, if I build a list that says I want to see all my leads that came in 3 days ago in the state of California, every single time your sales rep pulls up that list, it's going to look back 3 days California. So if I look at it on Monday, it's going to look back 3 days. If I look on it on Tuesday, it's going to look back 3 days. So your list building strategy is always dynamic. It's always changing based on your sales reps changing statuses. If you've got time filters, as the minutes and hours and days and weeks go by, your lists are always changing. Okay, so it makes list building, it makes data management for your sales managers and your reps just 1,000 times easier to manage your data and your follow-ups on a daily basis. Okay, if you've done this right, when your sales reps walk into the office in the morning, all their lists are going to be filled with leads. When they walk out of the office in the afternoon or the evening, all those lists will be completely empty. The next morning when they walk in, all those lists are filled with leads again. Okay, so really cool data management. List building also gets extremely important when we jump over to email marketing, and how you can put filters on different areas of your database to automatically send your clients drip email marketing campaigns. Okay, and we'll get there a bit later in the demonstration. Okay, so that's data management, that's list building. What you guys can also do in the software is search mail records. One nice thing I like about Centrex software is we've completely separated the direct mail database to your live lead database. So if you've ever tried to search a direct mail record in a different software platform, for example, it just spins and spins and spins and spins and spins because it's searching through hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of records to find that record. Not an issue for us. You can come in here, maybe a client calls in because they've received a postcard. They give you the number on the postcard. You can search that number. Within a few seconds, it'll pull up that record. There'll be a button here that says convert to live lead. Once it converts to live lead, it'll switch over to the live lead database and drop your sales rep right on the client dashboard for you now to disposition that client. Okay, so for those of you who are doing direct mail marketing, really nice concept here as far as not taking forever to find a direct mail record. Okay, all right, I call this the list view. A lot of really cool things you guys can do on the list view. First and foremost, you guys can click on a phone number and you can manually track a phone call. So I can come in here and say, is it outgoing or incoming? What was the call result? Type in the duration of the call. I can click on follow-up call. I can choose the date and time, the time zone. I can click on schedule call. And now this call will end up on my calendar. And 10 minutes before the call, I'll get a text message and an email and an in-system pop-up saying I have a call in 10 minutes. Okay, now what's very popular for a lot of you guys is dialers. Okay, so if you guys jump over to our website and you come over to the partners page, you're going to be able to see all the different dialer phone systems if you scroll to the bottom that we have integrations with. Now, it really kind of depends on the phone system you choose and how deep their API is with our software platform on what that phone system can do with our software. So click to dial, screen pops, automated disposition, the recording of the call, the duration of the call, the notes of the call. Depending on the phone system, there's a lot of cool things our software can do as far as communicating back and forth with that phone system. I happen to really like Whitel, I really like Blue Rock, and I really like FreeVoice. I really like these three companies for two major reasons. Number one, they have the most depthful API into our software, so they can do a lot of those things I just mentioned. But number two, these are enterprise phone systems with dialers built in. So like 5.9 dialer, for example, is only a dialer. I prefer to have a phone system where there's an auto attendant and all sorts of cool functionality for your staff, but also predictive dialers and dialers built into the software. Okay, so that's also an option if you guys don't want to dial manually. However, if you do want to dial manually, you can click on a phone number and you can track that phone call. Okay, another thing you can do from the list view is click on the envelope, and I can send a quick email to the client. Now, I can write a longhand email if I wish to do so, or you guys can come down here and you can load maybe a nice text template into the software, or you can load a full HTML email marketing template into the software. Okay, this is one that I use often for my clients. So you guys can come in here. All these are built in the email marketing tab, and then you can load these into the software. And then, of course, you can upload any sort of document to this email and send this email off to the customer. Okay, so you can send a quick email from what I call this list view as well. A few other quick action items from this list view. On the far right hand side, you can change the stage and status of a client on the fly. You can edit the contact information for this client on the fly. You can take a note for this client on the fly, and you can fully categorize all your notes. You can schedule a calendar event for this client on the fly, and then of course you guys can always upload a contract or a document for this client on the fly as well. Okay, so a lot of quick items so you guys don't ever have to drill into the client's account if you don't wish to do so. Now, on this particular list, there's 274 leads. We make it very easy to mass edit a list at any time. So over here on the far right, you've got with list and you've got with selected. I can click on with list. I can drop this down. I can click on mass edit. I can click on the green circle. You can see here 274 contacts will be affected, and you guys can essentially edit this list any which way you want. If you want to auto reassign every single lead, come in here, choose the person, and then you can come in here and you can click on perform mass edit, and all 274 leads will be reassigned to that new rep. Okay, so a lot of stuff you guys can do here as far as mass editing a certain list, and then of course at any time you guys can mass export all your data at once as well. So you can come in here and click on export. Depending how many files you have, it may take some time, and that'll export right into a CSV file for you guys to take home. Okay, so a lot of great stuff there. Okay, there's several different ways to get into a client dashboard. You can click on their business name, you can click on their full name, you can click on the green arrow all the way on the right, you can click on recently viewed, but what you can also do is you can search for files. I love our search feature because you can search by anything: first name, last name, email, phone number, address, social security number. Okay, a lot of cool stuff you guys can do, and then we can go ahead and we can drill into this client dashboard. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. The client dashboard holds everything relative for this particular client. So Al's Laundry Service, you can see is the business name. You've got first name and last name, the stage and the status, how long they've been in that stage or status, and you can always update stage and status on the fly. You can come in here, same concept for sending an email. I can click on the envelope and I can shoot a quick email off to this client. One thing we have that I really like in the software platform is something called multi-user assignment. Okay, if you guys need to assign this file to multiple people so everyone can work on it at the same time, I can click on change secondary assignment, and I can assign multiple departments and people in those departments to this file. These assignments are fully customizable to you guys in the admin tab. Okay, so I can assign multiple people to this file, and you can see here all your assignments. Anytime anyone ever does anything to a file, under the history tab here, it's fully date and time stamped. Who did it, when was it done, and what was done. Okay, so anytime anything's ever done, we're always going to make sure we date and time stamp what was done for the total history of the file. You guys have date created, date modified, who it's assigned to on your team. You guys have encrypted social security numbers. Same concept down here at the bottom. I can click on a phone number and I can track the phone call. Now, one thing we have in the software is something called a budget analysis. Not a lot of my B2B clients use this, but a lot of my B2C clients use it. I can click on View Budget Analysis, and I can essentially create a cash flow statement for this client in the software. Okay, so you can come in here, build out a cash flow statement. I can click on Save Budget Analysis, and then over here on the far left-hand side, you're going to be able to see what that looks like as far as a snapshot view of this person's cash flow statement. Okay, as we scroll down here, we're going to click on Client Snapshot. Client Snapshot is mainly for funders in the software platform, okay? If you're funding through our software platform and servicing through our software platform, this is going to give you a brief snapshot of what that funded loan looks like. So let's say it's a 135 factor rate, 6-month term, ACH daily, it's $100,000 advance. Here's how many times they've NSF'd, here's how many payments they've made, here's their next payment date, and maybe here's their balance. Okay, so it's going to give you a nice snapshot here of what that looks like. Okay, as we scroll down, the external form request. I really like the external form request, guys, because what it allows you to do is it allows you to send a client a web form. The client can fill out that web form, and when they click on Save Information, all that data automatically comes right back in the software for you guys to view. So it's just a really nice way to gather data digitally from one of your customers. Okay, so let's really nice feature here. You guys can choose any web form you want. I can click on the web form, I can customize my external form request, and I can send this off to the customer. Okay, so great functionality there. As we scroll down to the bottom, we do have a client portal out of the box. You guys will be able to send a request to the client portal to your clients. The clients can log in. They can see, if you're a direct funder, they can see how many payments they've made. They can see their client balance. They can see the status of their loan. They can see all the documents they've electronically signed with you guys. They can upload documents into the CRM from the client portal. They can see notes. They can see transactions and stuff like that. You guys control what you want your clients to see and not see in that client portal. Okay, if I jump over to the admin tab really quickly here, and I jump into settings, and I jump into customer portal settings, you guys can see here, again, you control what you want your clients to see and not see in that customer portal. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right back into Al's Laundry service here real quick. And at the bottom here, again, it's a one-click portal creation, and you can create that client portal for the client. And again, that client can log into that fully branded client portal, and they can do all sorts of cool stuff. Okay, so really cool, unique technology there. You don't really see that out of the box with a lot of other software platforms. Okay, over here on the far right-hand side, you have the total history view. Any calls ever logged on this client is viewed. Any emails you've sent to the client. I really like our email tracking system because it date and timestamps when you sent the email, who you sent the email to. If I click on the title of the email, it's going to show you the full HTML of the email you sent to the client. And then when the client opens the email, if you're assigned this file, it's going to give you a little in-system pop-up notification, and it's going to show you the date and time the client opened the email. Okay, so really, really awesome stuff here as far as date and time stamps when client open emails, so you can hold them accountable for opening your emails. You guys have notes in the software. I love our notes tab because there's a lot of cool stuff you guys can do here. You guys can have note kind of categories. You can build note templates. You can take notes on the fly. You can notify different users on those notes, and you can even email people notes when you take a note, and you can click on Save Notes, and all your notes are going to stack down the page. Okay? Any drip email marketing you've sent to the client. I apologize, I have no data here, but if you send your clients 5 or 6 drip email marketing campaigns, let's say they open 3 of them, you're going to see a nice little pie chart here telling you what percentage of the drip email marketing campaigns you sent them that they actually opened. Okay? You guys have our Docs tab. One thing I love about our Docs tab is you guys can drag and drop documents directly into the software. So I can come in here and drag a document directly into the software. You can drag as many as you'd like, and I can give this a bit of a category. I can give it a description, and then I can upload the document into the software. Okay, so it gives you guys the ability to drag and drop docs into the software. It also gives you the ability to generate a PDF of any document you have. All your generated PDFs are going to be right here. Anytime you generate a PDF, it's going to date and time stamp it. you guys can always view, download, or trash this PDF. Anytime you guys send a doc out for e-sign, down here at the bottom, you've got e-sign docs. Once you send a doc out for e-sign, it's going to date and timestamp it, and it's going to show you the status of that. Okay, so you've sent it. Maybe it's been delivered. Maybe it's pending. Once a client electronically signs a document, you can click on the information icon here. The document will automatically be reattached into the software platform. I can click on this information icon. I can see the IP address of where this document was signed, and then I can click on this electronically signed document for my records. At the bottom of every e-sign document is our digital locker box electronic signature certificate. So this is now a legally stamped document. Some of you wonder whether or not lenders approve our e-sign. We've been doing this for 10 years. We've never had a single problem. Okay, so it's because of the other vertical markets that we serve that are highly regulated by the CFPB and the FCC. Like I said, our e-sign technology is 100% proprietary to us, and it hasn't failed us so far. Okay, so a lot of great technology there for e-sign. At the bottom, you've got your uploaded documents. Okay, anytime you want to generate a PDF and send it out for e-sign, I can click on Generate PDF. I can choose the document I want to generate in PDF, and then if I wish to do so, I can send for electronic signature and click on Generate PDF, and that'll shoot it right off to the client. Okay, so a lot of great stuff here, guys, as far as document management. Sometimes you guys are going to have a lot of documents. They're too much to zip up, or I'm sorry, they're too many to email, so you can come in here and you can zip up as many documents as you want. You can choose those docs if you wish to do so. Okay, the events tab. You guys can schedule a calendar event for this client at any time. So I can click on schedule calendar event, and I can schedule that calendar event. You guys have a full task manager built in the software. I love our task manager because one of the things you guys can do is create task triggers. So if a status has been changed to, let's say, in document collection, I can have automatic tasks created for my reps saying collect bank statements, collect tax returns, collect voided check, collect driver's license, stuff like that, right? So you can come in here and create tasks on the fly, or you guys can create tasks automatically. One thing I also like about task management is I can create a task and I can assign it to the client. Okay, so if this is the client, I can create a task for the client. Maybe I want to create a task that says send bank statements, right? And I can click on Save Task. When the client logs into their client portal, they're going to see a task there that they need to send you bank statements. Okay, so really cool stuff there. You guys have credit card data for credit card charges, and you've got bank account data for ACH drafts. Okay, let's jump into the advances section because this is kind of the bread and butter of our system for the finance industry. One of the things you guys are going to be able to do is monitor multiple loan or advance opportunities for one merchant. So let's say a merchant comes to you, Al's Laundry Service, for example, and they come to you maybe 3 or 4 times for a loan. Well, every time they come to you, you guys have to underwrite that borrower for another advance, okay? So whether it's a new advance, maybe it's an add-on advance, or maybe it's a renewal advance, you guys can monitor each advance separately. So I can click on New Advance, or I can come in here and edit an existing advance. And this is going to take you into the underwriting section for this particular advance opportunity. Now, the first thing you're going to see here is advance assignments. Sales reps, underwriter, closer, funder. I can completely customize these assignments. So if you want to call it processor, chaser, closer, underwriter, broker, ISO, I can call it whatever you want. Now, when it comes to funder, all your funders are going to come from your lenders tab. So if I drill into the lenders tab, you guys are going to have a full database of lending institutions you can manage. As you close deals, you're going to be able to see what percentage of your lenders are closing what percentage of your portfolio. I can drill into a lender, let's say on deck, for example. I can take notes, maybe some underwriting notes for this lender. I can see all my advances for this lender, and then I can build different types of contacts for this lender as well. Okay, now if I jump back to this advance opportunity here, you can see here I've got On Deck Capital as my funder. For those of you who are direct funders, you're going to put yourself in the lenders tab, and if you're going to fund the deal yourself, you're going to assign the deal to yourself. Okay, down here we've got our pricer. What type of advance is this? Add-on, new, renewal. Is it an ACH draft or credit card holdback? What's the advance amount? What's the repayment period as far as days, weeks, or months? What's your remit rate, your factor rate, your payback amount? Okay, your daily payment, I like this. If I change from a 135 factor rate to a 145 factor rate, watch my 675 go to a 725. If I change repayment days from 200 to 300, you can see 725 go to 483. Okay, so the calculations are made automatically, and then of course you guys have lien positions 1 to 10. Okay, over here on the far left, we've got all sorts of different categories of sections here. Application is first. Your application is right here. Excuse me. You can toggle between your application, and you can save data points anytime you want. The next one down is financials. You guys can come in here and put in bank statement financials and merchant processing statement financials, and it'll spit out totals and averages. Okay. The next one we have is documents. Same concept. You guys can drag and drop documents in here. You can zip up documents. You can generate PDF, and you can send out for e-sign. What you guys also have is conditions. Conditions and documents are kind of the same thing. A condition is essentially a document that you need, so I can click on bank statements. I can upload the bank statement here, and then your underwriter can come in here and approve, decline, or trash this condition with a full date and timestamp. Okay? The next one down is credit. You guys can pull credit out of our software platform from a few different providers. If you come over to our website and you jump over to credit providers, Universal Credit Services is the company we like the best. You can also pull from TransUnion or Sharper Lending. Universal Credit, again, they're a huge reseller of all different sorts of reports. They do soft pulls and hard pulls, and you guys can pull credit data right into the software under credit. Same concept for Decision Logics. For those of you that need to pull bank statement validation reports, you can sign up directly with Decision Logics and pull Decision Logic reports right into the software. Okay? Okay, submissions. You guys are going to love this because this is going to allow you to package up a deal and send it to multiple lenders at the same time. So I can come in here and click on New Submission. I can choose all the documents I want to package up in the submission. I can scroll down and choose the lenders I want to send it to. Okay, and then I can come down here and I can choose the message I want to send to these lenders. And then I can come here and click on Submit Package. When I click on Submit Package, it's going to take all of these documents. It's going to send it to all 4 of these lenders at the same time on a blind CC. When I'm done submitting my packages, I can click on View Submissions, and I can see all my submissions date and time stamped. Okay, I can take notes on each submission, and I can even status out each submission if I wish to do so. Okay, now we both know that some lenders require portal submissions. If you guys jump into the admin tab and come to settings and then click on Deck Capital, right now the only integration we have for portal submissions is On Deck. You guys wouldn't believe how difficult it is to integrate with these lending institutions. Their technologies are either super antiquated or super old. We've done as much as we can to integrate with these lending institutions. Right now the ball is in their court to make sure we can integrate. So Strategic, IOU Central, can if they're still writing files. We're trying to integrate with as many as we can. Right now, On Deck Capital is all we have at the moment. Okay, but other lending institutions, you can come in here and you guys can do your submissions via email to those lenders. Okay, you guys have underwriting notes. You can come in here and build out all sorts of different types of notes. You guys have participation. So for those of you who are participating on files or who are the direct funder and you guys have syndication partners, you can come in here and track your participation rates. Okay, so you can come in here, you can choose the ISO or broker that is going to be syndicating, you can choose the participation amount, and then you can choose the servicing fee on the advance amount, the payback amount, or per payment. Once you've saved this, you guys can jump into the Advances tab. On the far right-hand side, you've got something called Syndicate Report. I can click on that, and I can actually run total participation reports, full RTR reports, paid to date, and outstanding balances on your participated files. And then you guys can come in here and customize your data columns for your syndicate reports. You guys can offer a free portal for those of you who are funders that have syndication partners. You can bring in syndication partners for free in the software so they can run these same types of reports. Okay, so a lot of great technology there as far as tracking participation rights and syndication reports in the software platform. You guys have commissions built in the software so you can manage and track all your commissions. Once, for those of you who are direct funders and you guys are ready to fund, you can come in here and put in all your funding details, all your merchant fees, and then when you guys are ready to start ACH drafting this client, you can come into payments. You can turn ACH drafting on. and you can click on Save File. And now this client's going to end up in the Enrollments tab. The Enrollments tab is where all your funded customers are going to be for those of you who are direct funders. Okay, so I can come in here and I can click on Al's Laundry Service. And in Al's Laundry Service, here's the gateway pull and the fees. Here's how many payments have been made. Here's the client balance. Here's returns and NSFs. If I scroll down, you can actually see the advance I gave this client. And then down here at the bottom, as payments start clearing the software and clearing the bank account, you're going to see those transactions. Now, you guys can always add a payment, adjust payments, pause payments, edit the enrollment plan, add note, reset, cancel, and graduate this client from a program. Now, what I like about this, guys, is I can click on the client's name here. This takes me right back into the client dashboard. I can click on the enrollment button here, and it takes me right back into the enrolled file. Or I can click on this advance right here, and it'll take me right back into the underwriting section for this particular client. Okay, now when it comes to ACH integrations, okay, if I jump over to our website here and we look at payment processing integrations, at the end of the day, we can integrate with anyone, guys. If you want us to integrate with someone we're not currently integrated with, our integration fees start at $2,500 one time and go up from there. But it's totally free to use a partner we're already integrated with. Okay, so a big one in the industry is ACH Works. However, if we don't have an integration with your current processor, we also have integrations with big gateways in the US. So at the end of the day, if your processor is integrated with NMI Gateway or Authorized.net Gateway, you can still manage all of your ACH processing through our software. If you guys aren't familiar with the difference between processors and gateways, a gateway is a digital bridge between a processor and a software company like us. Okay, so they're kind of the middleman so that we don't have to maintain hundreds and hundreds of direct integrations with processors. We maintain integrations with gateways, and the gateways are the ones that maintain integrations directly with the processors. Okay, so totally up to you if you wish to do so. Okay, now in the Enrollments tab, you guys are going to have all sorts of statistics and reports on how you're enrolling your clients into funds. Okay, and then of course in the Enrollments tab as well, we've got enrollment settings. You guys can come in here and choose all sorts of different types of automated settings. For example, if a client NSFs, what do you want to automatically happen? Okay, so a lot of great stuff here as far as enrollments, and you guys can filter these pages any which way you want to bring in different types of reports and, like I said, for your enrollment settings. Okay, the accounting tab. We have no out-of-the-box accounting reports. You guys can customize all your accounting reports. If I jump into New Report, you guys can come over here, choose the fields you want to show on this report. I can drag and drop up and down these fields depending where I want them to show. And then over here, I can show you filters on this report. So I want to see transaction statuses, types, so on and so forth. I can click on Save Report, and all your reports are going to stack over here on the left so that you guys can run numbers any which way you want. You guys can analyze these reports, email reports, export to CSV, and customize the data columns on these reports at any time. Okay, you guys have pipeline reports to forecast the future based on the past, and you guys also have summary reports. You guys can cross-reference different metrics to create pivot tables. Okay, and then last but not least, you guys can also produce a notcha file. If you don't know what a notcha file is, if you guys are managing all your ACH drafting directly with the same bank you do your banking with, there is no such thing as an integration directly with your bank for ACH processing. They won't allow it. We can produce a notcha file every night to send to the bank so that they can process your daily payments automatically in a batch versus one at a time. And then, of course, we have a full integration with QuickBooks Online. If you guys would like to pay a little bit extra, we'll do a scoping call with you and your team to see how you guys manage your chart of accounts, and then we can build that API directly into QuickBooks Online. Okay, so as far as direct lending or broker lending or syndication lending technology, we have a lot of information in here for you guys to look at, a lot of functionality for you guys to look at as well. Okay, in advanced settings, one cool thing I do really like is when it comes to payments, you guys have the ability, if you've been approved to do credits with your ACH processor, to pay out your syndication partners in real time while daily ACH drafts happen. So if you're going to ACH draft a client $100 every single day, a an ACH credit can automatically go to that syndication partner in real time. So in the advanced settings here, you guys have a lot of options that you guys can look at as far as your settings. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and keep going. The Files tab, you guys have unlimited flat file storage with Centrex software. You guys can even FTP into your own servers if you guys want to host all your own data. Drip email marketing. I have a marketing degree here at the company, guys. I do a lot of consulting for my clients on email marketing. You guys can get very, very creative with email marketing in the software, okay? You guys can come in here and build all your own email marketing templates. One nice part about our email marketing template builder is we have a short code built in the software for every single data point. So whether it's a standard field, it's a custom field you've built, maybe it's a amortization schedule, maybe it's a math formula, we can build all of those in the software platform so that you guys can build out nice templates. Once you've built out your templates, you can build a sender. So how do you want to send emails? What email address do you want it coming from? Maybe info at, or sales at, or submissions at. You can choose a sender. Once you've chosen a sender, you can come in to schedule a new campaign. You can title your campaigns. Do you want it to be a single blast or a reoccurring blast? If you're doing drip email marketing, you want it to be a reoccurring blast. When's your start date? When's your launch time? What list do you want to send it to? What template do you want to use? What sender do you want to use? And then if someone does unsubscribe, I always like sending them to my homepage. Okay, and then of course you guys can notify your sales reps when emails are opened. Okay, so you guys can get very creative with drip email marketing. You guys can do like a day 3, day 5, day 7, day 10, day 15. You could do day 3 time and status, 5 days time and status. You guys can get very, very creative with drip email marketing through the Centrex software platform. Okay. Okay, the Reports tab. The Reports tab is going to give you all sorts of different types of productivity reports. Who's making the most phone calls? Who's sending the most emails? Who's closing the most accounts? Who's the rock star on the sales team? Okay, my favorite report is what we call our funnel reports. The funnel reports allows you guys to completely create a sales funnel based on different filters in the software platform. So you can see that I got 100 leads this week. Out of those 100 leads, 80 of those leads we contacted. Out of those 80, 50 were sent contracts. Out of those 50, 25 signed contracts. Out of those 25, 10 were funded. Okay, so you guys can get pretty creative with all the different types of reports that we have built in the software for productivity. Okay, all right, let's jump over into the admin screen. In the admin tab, you guys have the ability to create user roles. So you can come in here and create a sales role, and then you can choose all the different types of permissions you have in the system for that user. Okay, so a lot of cool stuff you can do here as far as choosing the different types of roles you can give to your team. What we also have is something called teams. You guys can build different types of teams, like a sales team, for example, and you can associate the sales role with the sales team. So if I come to the email marketing tab and I want to create a template, I can share this template with teams versus individuals. Okay, it makes it a lot easier when you terminate or hire new employees, so that when they start the first day, they have everything they need to do their job. Okay, so that's team building. Another really unique aspect that we have in the system, guys, is something called companies. If I drill into companies, one of the things you guys are going to be able to do is you guys are going to be able to grant access to your external ISO networks or external brokers and give them the same exact CRM functionality that you have. So if you wish to do so, you can grant access to brokers and ISOs, and you can give them their own contacts tab, their own advances tab, their own lenders tab, their own email marketing tab. You guys, by default, are a reseller of our software platform, so you can give your ISO and broker networks the tools they need to be successful for themselves and for you. If you guys have an ISO network sending you 20, 50, 100 files a month, wouldn't you want to give them more tools to be successful so they keep sending you files? I would imagine so, right? So you can come into the Companies tab, click on Add Company, and then you can grant access to users to that company. So here's an example, Syndication Partner A. They've got 2 users. They've sent you 37 files. You guys have funded one of those files. I can go ahead and jump in to the syndication partner. I can even upload a company logo, so when they log into the software, it's their logo and not yours. Okay, you guys can come in here and create payees for these companies, so you can pay them commissions. And then what you guys can also do is create compensation templates for these payees. So I can come in here and create a nice compensation template for this ISO. And then, like I said, if you guys have been approved to do credits, you can actually pay out your syndication partners, brokers, or ISOs in real time as daily ACH drafts happen. Okay, so I really like the companies tab, guys. What's also super common in the industry is a business owner may own one entity that is a funding company and another entity that's the brokerage firm. You can manage both of those under one software platform with two different logos, two different sales teams, and so on and so forth. The nice part about this is if you grant access to a company, they can only see their own leads and their own data in the software platform, but you guys can see everything. Okay, really, really unique and nice functionality built into our software. Okay, let's wrap up here. In the settings tab, we've already talked about client portal settings. You guys have email triggers built in the software. So you guys can build all sorts of different types of email triggers, both to your clients, to your staff, to your partners, to your vendors, to your ISOs. You guys can get very creative on all the different types of email triggers you guys have built in the software. And then last but not least, guys, you got all sorts of other kind of settings in here. You've got call settings, note template settings, your e-sign settings, your on-deck settings, your sales script builders, and stuff like that. Okay, so I think from a 30,000 foot view, that gives you guys a very nice understanding what Centrex software can do. We are definitely the more depthful software in the finance industry. There's not a lot that you guys cannot do in the software platform. We are definitely known in the industry to be able to manage everything all under one roof. Okay, so thanks so much for your time today, guys. Again, if you have any questions, go ahead and talk to myself, Trey, or Caitlin. We'll be able to help you out, and we hope to do business with you guys soon. Have a great day.